Welcome to Are We Old? The show featuring two comedians getting nostalgic and tackling life's toughest question, Are we old? Here's your hosts, Mike Finoia and Charles McBee.
What up? Welcome back to Are We Old podcast, the podcast where we get nostalgic and answer the question, are we old? I am Mike Finoia.
And I'm Charles McBee. What's happening, Captain?
How you doing, my man?
Good, man. Getting ready for the holidays coming up.
Look at us in our hoodies.
Hoodied up.
Hoodied up. It's hoodie weather. That's
right.
Cold out. Folks, we are loving the comments. We're loving the questions. Thank you. Keep them coming. areweoldpodcast@gmail.com, at areweold on the socials, at areweoldpod on YouTube. And if you want bonus content, you go to patreon.com/areweold and join us for some fun extra stuff. And please keep liking, sharing, subscribing, thumb up, and what else? Rating, reviewing, sharing. All the things, man. All the things. You know, this algorithm, this big Al, we all work for him now. He's the master. So if he sees you guys liking us, he smiles favorably down upon us. So all hail. A tip of the cap. A tip of the cap to Mr. Algorithm.
Algorithm.
You imagine being a kid now and being like when a parent gets the question from their kid, like, Dad, is there a God? And they go, well, yes, son. There's a mechanical God named Al.
Mm-hmm. AI.
And he likes when you put content out there. And always bring little sacrifices, bring little treats to Al.
Mm-hmm. Sacrifices like your time, dignity,
self-respect. Time with loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He always likes when you go back and check your likes and your follows too. So
that's it, man. Build
a complex based around Big Al.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? You going home or
Turkey
you going
Day.
to Lisa's? How do you guys do your Thanksgiving?
Well, I'm doing shows in Philly on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at Helium. But Thursday, we go up to my mother-in-law's in upstate New York. And it's great. It's chill. It's my dog, my wife, my mother-in-law, a couple of her aunts. And it's a nice, peaceful, relaxing day. They kind of tell me, go in the living room, get out of the kitchen, we're going to cook. But what I do is I've started this little tradition where me and my pup go for a nice hike in like some of the trails around up that way, like Mohonk Preserve and stuff like that. There's like a couple of really nice little hiking trails and stuff, and it's pretty empty, like nobody's there. So it's my quiet time to get out in the woods, me and my doggy, and let them cook. And I ask to help. I like to cook, but they don't want me in the kitchen. So
nor should they.
Why, Charles?
Because I'm a ogre. That's why I'm Fred Flintstone. That's
men
right.
Men should stay out of the kitchen.
I'm a toxic man. Damn it! Stay your ass out of the kitchen. And here's the thing, though.
And drink beers.
Here's the thing about that. I only tease slightly. My knuckles only slightly drag against the ground. Do what you want. I'm not a woman's belong in the kitchen. No. But however, I will say, if you have women in the kitchen and they're saying, get out of the kitchen, let us do this, they're saying it for more than we're cooking here. It's like their time. Like if you've ever been a kid and have been privy to be in the kitchen when your mom and your aunts and your grandmother and whatever, they're not just in there silently baking pies. They're talking shit. They're, trading stories.
Yeah,
they're catching up on gossip. It's a whole to do.
They're drinking wine. They're cranking tunes. They're having fun. Yeah, no, you're right. And I'm not
the hell out of there.
I don't want to get in the way.
Yeah,
I don't want to get in the way. And me and my pup love the smells, so we go in every now and then and sniff around. And then we go back in the living room and lay on our couch and we cuddle up and take naps and stuff. It's nice and relaxing. It's super chill. I've done my family. It has a lot of kids. Well, now those kids that I'm referencing have kids.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of cousins and a lot of that. And growing up, it was a lot of people around all the time. Holidays were kind of massive, overwhelming at times. Like when you're a little kid and you don't know what overwhelming means, it's a blast. You're just running through people's legs and you're
Right.
stealing people's shoes and going through people's coat pockets and all that fun stuff, you know? Like that was that was a blast when you'd go up in the room where all the jackets were and
Or
you
the
just go
coats on
through-
the bed.
Yeah, and you're just
There's
pulling
always
through.
a designated bed for the coats. Can we just zero in on that for a second?
Yes.
That is a universal, unspoken, like everyone. Yeah, the closet, schmozzit. No. There's a bed designated for the coats, and it's just a Mount Sinai, a Mount Kilimanjaro.
Sinai. It's just which is a hospital.
Yeah, I don't know. My dumb brain was trying to think of a mountain, and I
love
couldn't.
it. No, it makes sense, Charles, because if you think about
And
it,
I was
how
like, what?
Jeremy grew up Mount Sinai. Oh my
I
God!
don't
There's
know.
a St. Jude's of coats just on the pillows. But you're right, though.
Mount
because
Fuji of coats. Yeah,
it's kind of gross. Everybody's dirty, smelly coats are on like someone's bed, you know, and it's pretty nasty. I used to go through pockets, and you'd find some, you know, crumbly old tissues in there and stuff.
that's hilarious. I never thought to pickpocket any of my relatives on the bed, on the coat bed. That was never like a thought. I would jump
Constantly.
around on there and like it was a pile of leaves or something, but I never stole from a
Well,
or went through the pockets of.
I went through the pockets more like, as I don't think I stole much. If there was like a piece of gum or a candy, I would take it.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, I would snag one or two. Lighters, I was always into lighters and matches, even if I don't know, for some reason I was just collecting implements of destruction, you know, like I would just grab lighters but yeah, I always went through the pockets of my family's jackets and stuff. And my grandmother always had a boogie rag in there, you know, like a snotty tissue.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it was a trap. It was like, I'll show you. Go through my pockets.
She knew. But you know what? It was a lot of people and it was overwhelming. And now, and I almost kind of wonder if this is a thing with aging where it's like, I don't have kids. I don't want to be around your kids. I love that it is nice and calm and quiet, and we eat slowly, and we, you know, like it's not this like rush to the table, like the dinner at Home Alone when they're like getting all the little Nero's pizza comes and there's milk being spilled and people screaming and yelling. This is just us around the table, nice and calm. We overeat, we talk shit, we laugh, we doze off, you know, and it's we have the fireplace going, and it's this feeling of like Christmas is on its way. I feel like Thanksgiving is kind of like this is where like we get into that slide of like hurry up but enjoy yourself. Like you got a lot to do to get ready for the holidays and prepare, but it's time now. It's countdown to Christmas, New Year's, which are always my favorite. This is my favorite time of the year right here. Leading up to like Thanksgiving to Christmas. This is my like my sweet spot.
I can appreciate a nice grown up Thanksgiving. However, I feel like I'm a very nostalgia kind of guy. I like the feels, and there is something to holiday time of the kids, hearing the pitter patter of kids and the laughs and the stuff of kids in the background kind of running around. Not too crazy, not unruly kids that need a good, five across the backside, but just a general kind of echoing and acoustics of kids kind of playing and running around. I don't mind that at all.
Tell me about your Thanksgiving.
My things today or yesterday?
Both.
Today there is, so we get together with both my parents' side of the family, because I don't have kids, my sister doesn't have kids, so there's a get together of like my mom's side, which is my grandmother, my aunt, and then my two cousins, and then one of my cousins has like 4 or 5 kids, four kids. And so those are like the kids, but even they're kind of like growing up now. Every time I see them, it's just like, who are you? So it's like it's really not even 4 kids. It's 2 adult kids, and then 2 who are still kids. But we all get together and same talk shit. They watch a bunch of Tyler Perry movies. I could care less about that. We play games. We break out spades, Uno, board games, Taboo. That's like a tradition, and we just eat our faces off and kind of reminisce. It's good times.
That's
and
cool.
Then we catch up because obviously I live in New York, so I catch up with like other people that I don't normally get to catch up with. So like whether it be other uncles or family members on my dad's side, we'll catch up with them and all that kind of stuff. So it's a good catch up. It's a catch up weekend, which I appreciate.
Well, it's interesting too because for the longest time when I was going out to the bar age, the night before Thanksgiving was like the night. That's when everybody went out. It was like the crazy night at the bars around where I grew up, like New Haven, Connecticut area. Like everybody met up. Like that was the high school reunion. Essentially, everyone would go to like a couple bars and you just went out all night and it was bonkers, and you knew cops were privy to it. So drive safe or have a designated driver or call a cab or whatever. But the bars were packed and it was the time to like kind of see people you haven't seen since, summer or whatever. And that like getting together and having drinks. And, so Thanksgiving Day was always a hangover. Always a hangover.
Interesting.
And it's interesting to think about the different times of your life at a holiday and what it was, right? So as a little kid, so the high school football game was like always the big deal, the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Yeah.
Same with you?
Yeah, we were a big football town. High school sports is huge.
Yeah. It was huge, but we sucked. So it was still huge, but it was, the score was huge that the other team would rack up on us, and we would go to the game as kids, and it was actually kind of like a little bit like cute now that I think about it, where there was a practice field next to the real field, and us kids would like play the plays that we were watching the big kids play. You know what I mean?
You should have been watching the other team.
I know, yeah. I just snuck on their bus and just was raised by another town.
Your team should have been on that practice field a little more longer.
Yeah, 100%. We were awful, and but anyway, we would play along, and then it came time to be, in high school, playing in the high school football game, the Thanksgiving Day, the big game, and it was always a big deal. It was always exciting, even though we got our asses kicked every single year. The rivalry we had at the time was this town called Cheshire High School, and they were like Charles. I mean, record breaking. Like they were so good, and we were so bad. I mean, so Thanksgiving Day games were just like you were sore as hell. Like I'd sit at dinner on like with ice packs on my, neck because we were just running into like grown men. We were children with shit equipment, and that was like a rich town with great equipment. They were on ESPN and stuff. Like it was real.
So then, did it make a difference to be on a varsity team in regards to getting girls? If you guys sucked so bad, like did girls were they eager to wear your varsity jackets and shit? If you guys were that terrible?
Well, yeah. We were in a little bit of like a Dazed and Confused, my school, where it was kind of like the kids that played sports also were the kids that were rolling kegs into the woods and also smoking joints and also hair down to the middle of our backs. And we were hippies. We were burnouts. We were athletes. We did a lot of things mediocre.
That's fair.
We weren't amazing at anything. We were equally kind of crummy, but we enjoyed it. You know what I
That's
mean?
fair.
So the girls were the same girls that like the cheerleaders. We went to Fish concerts together and all that stuff. So there was a little bit of that where it was like, but what was cool, and it was huge. This was a big deal. Each player was like assigned a cheerleader, or each
Wait, what?
yeah. I know.
What kind
My
of
stories are
Epstein Diddy
Yeah,
shit do you got
right.
going on here?
Wait until you hear how lame this island is,
Are-
dude. Right? This is the Staten Island of Epstein Island.
Are you sure you want to hit record before
Yeah,
you
yeah.
continue this story?
All right. Each
No.
cheerleader
No,
was
go for
assigned.
it.
Each cheerleader was assigned a player to be
Oh,
like
okay.
the secret cheerleader or whatever, right? And they would stay late on Thursday nights and they would make posters for us and put it over our locker and like make cookies and treats and stuff and like put it in our lockers. So when you came in the morning, there was this like, surprise on our locker, and it was streamers, and they knew I liked the Grateful Dead, so there'd be a dead bear with my number in it, and it was like really like nice, and it was cool, and they wore our jerseys, and it was flirty as fuck, but it was a little kind of grease. It was a little grease, and but we stunk. We were god awful, and I mean, just so bad. Baseball, we were phenomenal, but football, we were really, really, really bad. And Thanksgiving Day games were just vicious. Oh my God. We played, I mean, dude, the team that we played on Thanksgiving, like multiple players went to like D1. I think maybe one or two went pro. Like they kicked the shit out of us.
Yeah.
I remember it was like a cartoon. I tried to tackle a kid once on Thanksgiving. The field was frozen. I'll never forget this. And I had an open field and I tackled this guy. And dude, like 10 yards down the field, he's dragging me and I'm trying to tie his laces together, dude, just like holding on for dear life. I mean, we got our asses like 40 something nothing at the half type shit.
Very those were Thanksgivings to remember. We never played. I don't think we had a Thanksgiving game on Thanksgiving, but it was always like games that led up towards Thanksgiving. Our Thanksgivings we were like as a kid be at the crib, depending on who hosted it. That was always a big thing. Who's hosting Thanksgiving this year? Sometimes it would be when I was little, it was at my grandmother's.
Oh yeah.
And then eventually it was at our house, and then my mom hosted it or whatever. So that was always a thing.
Can I put a pin in that? Do you
Sure.
Do you like when you were a kid? Did you like when holidays were at your house, or did you like going to someone else's house?
No, I like going to someone else's house.
Why?
I didn't like when I was at our house because I knew that meant I had to clean that morning.
Okay. Oh, preparation. Yes. Okay.
Prep was always the worst because it was, I mean, obviously it's being held at your house. So that meant everything had to be immaculate because when people come over, you knew that they were going to silently judge your house, or at least you felt that way, or at least my mom felt like that. So it was just like, there's no stone unturned. So I knew it wasn't going to be like a day off for me or like a relaxing day. It was going to be the second you wake up, you got your marching orders, and that was it. And if it wasn't done to the T the way my dad wanted it done, it was like it was going to be a to-do. So yeah, it was a stressful lead up. So by the time people started coming over, I was just kind of like over it, and I was like somewhere watching a Bill Murray movie or something.
Yeah. Well, that's very true, and it's a good point. And I think about that with like, when you are hosting, there's a very exciting tension in the house where it's like put all the tables together to make one long table and get the folding chairs and lay them out and have everybody like, we're going to have the game on in this room, and then downstairs is where the kids go and watch cartoons and play. And my siblings were the same age as my cousins. They were all way younger than me, and I was an only child for like 8 years. So I was kind of a young adult. So I was hanging out with the adults, but I was also bored with that.
Yeah.
And then I'd try to go down and hang with the kids, and I'm like, I'm bored with this. So I almost liked it when it was at my house because I could just go in my room. And
Well, you had your own freaking phone line and office in your room,
Yeah.
so you were on there.
I had work to do.
You
I
had
had
work
work
to
to
do.
do,
Yeah, you
Charles.
had shit to get done.
No rest for the wicked. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm hammering, I'm crunching numbers, I'm sending out contracts and quotes for Q4. No, but we had like, and again, it's all in this trajectory, and it's funny how things change. And when I was super young, we were at it at my grandmother's too. And my uncles were teenagers. So we were out playing football in the yard from when I woke up until like literally I'm falling asleep while running a pass pattern. There was
Yeah.
nonstop action. And all the kids, for the first like chunk of my life, I lived in a neighborhood where like, I mean, it was like a Hallmark card where like just every kid is out playing with each other. You didn't even have to say, like, you just went outside and there were kids there and you formed a
Yeah.
game and you played. It didn't matter what it was, you just did it. And it was constant. And my uncles were young enough that they were kind of like the older dudes that would like throw deep passes and you know what I mean? Like hit fly balls that were like super duper high and get fireworks for us and stuff like that. So it was always like there was always something happening. But then when we moved and I started to have siblings and stuff, that's when I kind of sort of just like, I'm just gonna hang in my room, listen to music, play with my like GI Joes or Game Boy or whatever the hell it was. Then it turned into like, I'm just gonna smoke pot and then and just like try not to get busted being stoned or whatever, and that's when I would eat more than anybody at that, that's when
Hey,
it got great.
it got
But
real.
it got real. But yeah, it was always, I mean, like, and now I kind of just like the fact that it's because listen, in our life, the way that we live, dude, we're gypsies, man. I'm on the road constantly. So to be able to have like a day or two with like my wife not working, me not working, I don't get to see my mother-in-law much. Like just to be able to like go chill
Yeah.
and just smell the smells and hear the sounds, and those are those naps that you take that like you feel rested for the whole year, where you get those nice, like you hear them having a good time in the other room. Nobody needs anything from me. Nobody wants anything from me. I just disappear under the blanket with Charlie and just nod off to like Snoopy or a Detroit Lions game or something like that.
There's no sleep like the sound of a football game in the background
In the background.
or just on the TV. There's something about the that humming, the hum of the crowd cheering, and then the announcer's voice is always the perfect. Football announcers should be like on Audible, like reading you bedtime stories or something. Just a nice, calming voice. You're hearing plays, but it's not too loud. It's a good sleep. Nice fall. For me, I like college games. Those really put me.
Love college games.
Oh my god,
dude! I'll double down on what you're saying. I've gotten to the point in hotel rooms where I've gone on YouTube and put on old baseball games. YouTube baseball's my sleep sound because you hear that ambient chatter of conversations and you hear hot dogs like deep in the back there, and then you hear somebody's like 2-1 on the batter. It's like today's seventh inning stretch is brought to you by WB Mason, and it's just like this like mellow. But any type of sports where I don't care about the team,
exactly. You can't care about the team.
Out like a light. Out like a light. You are so right, dude. And it's almost like that, like it's so and then when you have layers of sound, like in our room you hear the game, but you also hear mom and wife talking in the other room, and you hear knives hitting a cutting board, and you hear the oven, and you start to smell and the hot like sweet potato air starts coming in from the other room, and it's just like, dude, fucking kill me now. This is how I want to go. This is how I want to remember it.
That's right. Now, are there any particular dishes that, well, I guess now you can count now, but that go all the way from like even childhood? Like, were there any dishes that just like through the test of time have been like, oh, I can't wait for or my aunt Susie made the best blah blah blah?
Okay.
What was the spread?
Well, it was very New England Thanksgiving in the sense of like, so my family owns a my extended family on my mom's side owns a bakery. So like Italian bread, like loaves of Italian bread. So always a lot of fresh bread with butter. And then they have stuffed breads with like pepperoni and cheese and broccoli and spinach and stuff. So the tons and tons of bread. And that's always out first with like, cheese and crackers and olives and stuff like that. And then dinner is normally we would do like lasagna, and then there would be a break where everyone would just go in the living room and kind of like a heroin dope like nod off, and then dinner's ready and everyone goes, fuck, more food. But then we go eat like where you just got let out of prison. And turkey, broccoli, my grandmother's broccoli, Charles, holy shit, on a shingle. This stuff was, dude, she served it cold, right? But it was like super lemony and salty and garlicky. But she would like make it so it was almost like if you picked up a forkful, you were getting like so much condensed, mashed up cold broccoli. But it was like not sopping wet with lemon, but it was just like, I don't know, dude. It was just this perfect consistency. Oh my God, it was so good. And that I would eat like way too much of, and the garlic would kill me for days. But casseroles I was never a fan of. I'm not a big fan of like creamy shit. I didn't understand like string bean casserole that had like that onion kind of crusted glaze on top. And but what I do love is I love yams and sweet potatoes that have kind of like a little bit of a marshmallowy kind of top to it. That's really great. Turkey, white meat with gravy. Massive fan. Sweet, regular mashed potatoes with a lot of butter. I would take like when I was a kid, dude, I'd hide like a fucking hunk of butter deep into the potatoes. So like when you scooped in, it was like a hidden reservoir of like butter. Oh shit.
Holy cow, bro.
So good, dude.
Holy cow.
Try it this year. You'll love it.
No way. You should have told me this 30 years ago. There's no way I'm doing that today. Are you kidding me?
Dude, you just sink a fucking hunk of butter. Like it's like a summer.
Oh my God. It'd be a very special episode of Are We Old?
on the very special sad episode. Is Charles going, avenge my death?
He didn't make it.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think what else. I was always, see, here's the thing. I'm going to turn it to you before I say what I was going to say, because I'm a big dessert guy and I'd rather wait and we can get into that. But I want to know, what were your favorite things when you ate?
All right, here we go. So there was there's the standard turkey, but we didn't give a shit about the turkey. I don't know how the turkey became like a staple. I guess whatever the penguins, I was about to say the penguins, the pilgrims and the Indians, whatever they were on, maybe the turkey was the only thing going, but I was not a turkey guy. Never
liked turkey. Cold turkey sandwich, cold cuts, nothing.
I'll eat it, but I'm not requesting it.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
Yeah. But ham back in the day, I don't eat it. I don't eat pork a lot now, but as a kid, my mom's ham, forget about it.
Let's talk about it. Did it have that nice hard glaze on the outside with the pineapples?
Pineapples and cherries.
Mama McBee.
Oh my God. It was I ate so much. I mean, as a kid, you're just thinking, well, they're serving it to me. It must, anything that's being served must be healthy.
They love me. Yeah, I could trust them.
I ate so much ham. Like, bro, how did I not grow a little spirally tail and a snout? Oh my God, dude.
You're like, Charles, Merry Christmas. Oink. Oink.
Crazy.
Now, what would you put? Would you use a condiment on the ham?
No, you don't. I wouldn't use shit on the ham. It would just straight. And I
glaze.
And I used to get a nice uppercut because I would go and I would steal, because I love pineapple.
Me
like
too.
Pineapple's like my favorite
pineapple.
fruit.
Yeah.
So I would just go on this big ass ham, and I would just pluck the pineapples off the ham, so nobody else would really get. So she'd have to go and put more pineapple on the ham, and she'd be like, "Stop taking the pineapple off the ham." I'm like, "I can't help it. I
Well,
need
and you
more
know what?
pineapple."
Those were ham-scented pineapples too. It
Yeah.
had a little bit of
Oh,
the
yeah,
au
yeah.
jus with it, a little bit of that glaze.
Oh,
Fuck.
it's great.
I want
Yeah.
some pineapple ham now. Okay.
Pineapple ham and cherries. And then we had, the dressing. We always had. So I don't know if you guys call this. We never called it stuffing. That was never the term we use. I don't know if it's a black thing. I don't know what, but we call it dressing. It's just dressing.
Oh no, we called it stuffing. When you say dressing, I was thinking like gravy.
No, so ours is, and we make it different. Don't ask me how, but like ours is it's a whole to do. But so ours is dressing, and but it's delicious.
No shit. Wow.
Oh,
that's
it's
interesting.
delicious.
You know what's interesting? When I was a kid, hated stuffing. I thought this is stupid. This is boring. It's like eating an old boot. Now,
Yeah.
I fucking love it. And I don't know why we don't have it more. Like if it was like, you want stuffing this week? Like I would do it. You know what I mean? But it's literally stuffing has a day. Like stuffing,
Yeah.
big stuffing is like on vacation like 340 days a year. Like no one gives a fuck about stuffing. Cranberry sauce? Who gives a shit about cranberry sauce? Unless it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I remember the day that my dad switched over from the ocean spray in a can to like fancy schmancy cranberries with like nuts and stuff, and I was like,
actual cranberries in it.
It was actual cranberries in it, and I said, "What the fuck is this abomination?
Are you trying to gentrify my Thanksgiving, Dad?
What is this, Dad?"
Yeah,
You couldn't tell me that the cranberry tube wasn't actual cranberry. That's what we know. That's what it is.
And it had markers for cutting.
Boom,
dude.
slice,
the can
slice,
lines
slice.
were slicing markers. Now you got this key lime pie looking thing.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
can't introduce this.
Yeah, would you go to Pier 1 Imports and buy a candle? This is ridiculous. I'm with you up, dude.
Out of here.
I will back that up. I'm by you till the end on this one. Fuck your fancy cranberry melange thing that you make with your orange peels and none of that. Give me
none of it.
I want the can. I want that perfect cylindrical tube, and it goes when you pull it out, and it's got lines for the cutting.
Yeah,
and that's
give me the
it.
Jello mold. Yeah.
That's it. Amen, dude.
That's a Thanksgiving.
That's these perfect discs. They're like coasters of deliciousness.
That's right. Yeah, that or nothing.
Love a nice can of cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce.
I remember dating a girl, and she was like coming over for Thanksgiving, and she's like, "Oh, I'll make my cranberry sauce," and I'm like, "Make cranberry sauce? How do you make it? With a can opener and a can? Because otherwise, we're breaking up, kid. Don't come into my house with your weird crate and barrel, fucking Martha Stewart shit."
I don't know what kind of pot you're smoking, but that must be some good shit.
Yeah. Now, after, so you ham. So your folks had ham. You had a turkey, but you stayed away from the turkey.
I mean, I ate it just for a little slice because it was the day, but I wasn't going back for the seconds and thirds. Dressing, greens. We had some collard greens.
Okay.
It's not
which
a black
I've grown to
Thanksgiving
love. I've never had them before, but I like them a lot, and I like they're bitter. They're like and I like the taste of them, and I like the consistency. I'm a consistency eater.
Yeah. Collard greens is good. And then macaroni and cheese. Gotta have the macaroni and cheese, and you gotta have like maybe some potato salad, maybe or maybe not potato salad. Potato salad sometimes is a summer thing. Sometimes somebody might make some potato salad. My great grandmother made the best potato salad.
Macaroni and cheese, baked in the oven with the crusty top. Oh man, okay,
that's right. Baked macaroni and cheese, man.
Who made the best baked macaroni and cheese in your family?
Oh, you're gonna get me? Are you trying to get me killed?
Yep.
So okay, so I'll say this. I'll say this. That way, it'll keep me from getting killed. It started. It starts with my grandmother, my dad's mom, my grandma Mac,
Okay.
and that recipe was
Grandma mac and cheese?
grandma Mac and cheese, and that recipe was passed down to like my mom. So I'm gonna say grandmother, my grandma Mac, and then my mom because she got it from her.
Okay.
And then everybody else can, they can just feel how they feel about it. But that's my go-to.
Right on. Right on. Yeah, no. My mom's mac and cheese was the tops.
Yeah.
It was great. Just that, dude, she got it. So it was like every single square inch of that topping was equally crusted and burnt in the corners, but like not burnt
Yeah,
gross.
I know
Just
what you
like,
mean.
oh my God. And when you got like I'm a sucker for contrasting consistencies and temperatures in food. So if you give me a crusty top with a gooey soft bottom, and the gooey soft bottom is like piping hot, but the crusty part is like cooled from the top air,
Uh-huh.
fucking that's kill me now, dude. That's it. And
Nice.
that mac and cheese was dynamite, dude. I loved it. And that was something that was all year round. Like special. If my mom was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I'd be like, "Mac and cheese." Like homemade
Oh,
mac and
nice.
cheese. Yeah. So that wasn't just a holiday
Yeah.
thing. I don't know about in your home, but
No, it wasn't just a holiday, but it wasn't necessarily
in the regular weekly
in the
rotation.
regular yeah, but it definitely made an appearance throughout the year on special occasions.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
that was like the main spread. There might have been some other dishes that were, get honorable mentions, but those were like the main ones.
Now, was the living room, did you all sit around a table? Did people make plates and spread out? Was it like because we kind of had like the kids table and then we had the adults table,
We
and
gotta zero in on that. That's a very key point right there. The kids table.
yeah.
Do you remember, can you think back that far to the kids table era?
Well, when I was a kid that would have warranted my own table, I was an only child. So I
Uh-huh.
sat with the adults. And
Right.
I was like the entertainer. Like I would just do wacky shit and make everybody laugh. But then when the kids table came, I wasn't about to be like demoted. I'm like, fucking, I've been sitting here for 7 years. What are you, out of your mind?
Right.
So I never had the luxury of a kids table. So I was
Yeah.
jealous watching my siblings and my cousins sit at the kids table, even though they were looking at the adult table going like, I want to sit up there with like Mike. And I'm like, no, you get the fuck, you know? So I was like, I never had the kids table experience, but I'm jealous of it.
I wouldn't be. It was always the other way around. You aspired to be at the big table. That's where you wanted to be. The kids table, especially when you hit a certain age where you're a little bit older than your siblings or cousins. If you were the big kid at the kids table, it didn't feel good.
Yeah, totally.
It didn't feel good.
You're like, I don't really want crayons to color on my, placemat, and then you're like stealing better crayons from your younger nephews and shit.
Yeah, you're just like the babysitter at the kids' table. It's not
That's
a good
gotta
feeling.
suck. I've never experienced it. How about the one like trying to be cool adult that goes, "I'll sit at the kids' table with the kids," and it's like,
oh yeah, get out of
you
here,
loser.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's why you still live with grandma or
all right,
whoever.
Jared from Subway, get the fuck away from that table.
So when it came to the carving of the turkey, who was the designated carver of the turkey? Because
My Uncle
usually
Bill.
it's. So I was going to say it's usually a matriarch
Yeah.
or somebody, usually dad, uncle, whoever. So your Uncle Bill was the
Rest
official.
in peace, Uncle Bill. Yes.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
He was our carver, and my grandfather. And normally it was like that Uncle Bill was like when my dad's side would get together. My mom's side, it was just like whoever's house we were at. Normally it was just like the guy whose house it was, right?
Yeah.
Like, so when we started to kind of float around and stuff, I do it now I'm the man that carves the turkey on Thanksgiving.
That's a big deal.
I'm the man that carves the turkey. This is my first time saying that out loud.
Yeah.
And I just got a little fucking.
That's right.
Yeah, Charles,
right.
I'm the man that carves the turkey.
You're the man that carves the turkey.
I'm using a electric knife though. That is
Oh,
from
for
like
crying out loud.
1947, dude. This fucking thing, I think it runs on like asbestos or some shit, dude. It's old as balls, dude. It's crazy. It makes noises no machines now make. It goes like it's got like a. It's crazy. I don't know. It's my mother-in-law's, and I just like she plugs in a knife. That's like it's like a holiday saw, dude. It's so fucking weird.
I don't know why that's so funny to me. Like, we just had this man moment, and then you just told me that you plug your knife in to carve the.
It's so old, dude. It's so old. I swear to God, I think I could take it outside and like trim the hedges with it afterwards, dude. It's just like. Am I the only one that's you guys didn't use like an electric thing? Holy
No.
shit! Yeah,
No.
no, maybe that's a white guy thing, dude. I don't know. We've got like a
No,
plug-in.
there's a whole. You got to do.
Oh, you have like probably good. Yeah, like
sharpen it up, and yeah, and you get in there and you do and then hey.
Did you ever carve the bird?
Couple times. I never was that I never was that interested in it though. I never looked at it as the something that was passed on.
No.
My dad does it.
Yeah.
So I guess it was just kind of like, yeah, that's dad's gig. I guess maybe when I get my own like house and host it at my house with my family and my kids, maybe that's kind of how I always looked at it. It was just like that type of thing. But yeah. It was always my dad's was the one that carved the turkey.
I never had like this desire to, because frankly, I was terrified of my uncles. So it was like this thing of like, if I do it wrong, because they would just stand over me and break balls.
Oh,
and go like, what are you doing? Like, why are you? What's so funny is like 90s ball breaking is essentially just gaslighting. Now it's just what's called like they'd be like, oh my God, what are you doing to that turkey? And I'd be like, I don't know any better. You know what I mean? So I would question what I was doing, and then I'm cutting the wall and I'm just like cutting my head, and it's awful. So yeah, every now and then they would give me like a mature like chore to do, and then shit on me while I was doing it, and I'm like, yeah, this is nice. But this is also the same uncle that like had a beer can rolling around in his truck one time, and he goes, pick that up, and I picked it up and he took a picture of it, and he's like, I'm going to show your mom and tell her that you drink. And I was like 9, so he was just a fucking clown. I loved him, but man,
there was always
that's why I went bald when I was like 17.
That explains a lot. That explains it. Yeah, there's also like the family members that you just kind of don't look forward to seeing. And you're just like, all right, we gotta. Oh, here we go. We gotta deal with this.
Isn't it funny that around Christmas, that's like the thorn in our side, where you go like, man, we went like since 4th of July seeing this idiot. Now we gotta see him November and December.
Yeah.
And then we're good until the 4th or whatever. And it's like, oh God, 2 times in 2 months with this knob. Yeah, they suck. Now after dinner, would you living room to watch the 6 o'clock game, or would it be is the game on constantly? Like, is there music playing? Are you guys parade people? Did you watch the parade?
Parade is big. We got to watch the parade. That's like that's mandatory. So that's like in the morning though. That's like first thing, get up. The parade is on. Mm-hmm. And then so like as the food is being made, the parade's on, or breakfast maybe is the parade's on. But yeah, by the time dinner's time is happening, usually. So this is going back to when my great grandmother was around and stuff like that. Everybody to be spread out. We didn't really sit around. We weren't a sit around the table type of family. We were TV trays. Everybody sit, and watch whatever was on TV or whatever people wanted to watch or whatever, and just sit at your leisure. There was, we had a living room, and then we had a family room or whatever, and there was like 2 separate, TV in the living room, TV in the family room, so people could go to their designated whatever was on. The game was on in one room, and then whatever Tyler Perry monstrosity was on in the other room, and then you could just go wherever you wanted to go.
Right.
And that's kind of how we did that. And then and then desserts were, so we can get into that. Desserts for us, sweet potato pie. Gotta have a sweet potato pie. There might be a pound cake. My mom was gonna throw in a pound cake in there. Ice cream. And what else? Those are the mains. Those are between the sweet potato pie, pound cake, ice cream, and then you might have some other stuff. You might have a pecan pie. That was big. I've never been a pecan pie guy, but it's a very big in the black community.
Not just the black dude. Let me tell you,
you guys are pecan pies.
Love pecan pie, but also you can feel the sugar just like seeping through your arteries afterwards, like that under the pecans, like the mushy part or whatever you want to call it. Jesus Christ, that's like a whole other level of sugar, like consistency. It's so good, but like you're like shaking that night.
It's otherworldly.
It really is, but it's so good.
Yeah, man,
so good. We and then coffee, right? And were you guys a big like boozy family? Because
no,
we're not either.
Yeah, we weren't. I grew up I grew up in a very kind of Christian household, and even though it's not to say that people who aren't Christians don't drink, but it was just a very like what do you call it, dry family. It was just we called it pop in the Midwest instead of soda, so it was pop galore. And then and then my dad would make like a tea or lemonade or something like that and that kind of stuff. But we weren't a boozy. There wasn't a lot of like wine and booze going around. At least not at the main. Now, once you would go later to like a cousin's or something like that, like the offshoot, the after party,
and everybody's drinking beers and getting loose. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But when grandma's around, it was pops.
My grandfather will have like cans of like Bud Light or Miller Light or whatever around. My Uncle Bill, who I was talking about, like he smoked and drank beers and like good beer, like, like IPA and like stuff like that. So, I'd sneak one with him every now and then. But dessert was like coffee, apple crisp, which is just fucking, my wife makes the most incredible apple crisp right now, dude. It's just
it's great.
Unreal. And now talk about old man. I don't do dairy anymore, but her mom gets this like coconut milk vanilla bean ice cream, and I do hot apple crisp with a big heaper scoop of vanilla bean coconut milk ice cream. Again, fucking end me now when I'm not looking. Just hit me with a 2x4 and call it a day, because
that's a big apple dessert. I'm a huge apple. Anything apple dessert, I'm in.
Me too, dude. Me too. You got to try her apple crisp sometime when you come by.
Oh, great.
And then her mom, this is now, her mom makes her own pie crusts. So like the whole like crossed over, like the whatever it looks like, the pies that kind of look like this. I don't know. It right. I have no idea that I thought of that, but I don't know what they call that. But anyway, like she makes, dude.
My grandmother used to make. I don't know if it's the same thing. It's almost like your own little. My grandmother used to make like the little fried
personal pies.
Yeah, like her own. It would be like we called it, instead of McDonald's pies, it'd be like her Grandma Mac pies. But it's
Grandma Mac pies.
Yeah, but it would be just, stuffed with whatever the fruit was, just bursting out of the seams with it. Oh my God, dude, it was so good.
I don't know. On 3, pies or cakes? 1, 2, 3, pies.
Pies. Yeah, I'm a pie
me too.
guy.
I'm a pie guy for life. And and then like we didn't do a lot of like peach pies and stuff like that. Pumpkin pie with ice cream or whipped cream. Pumpkin pie was massive in my house, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Costco sells these pumpkin pies now that are the size of a backboard. They're fucking huge, dude. Like literally, like you can't get anything else in the car when you get one, because it takes up all the surface area. But holy shit, they're good. Yeah, and then I would have dessert for breakfast that whole week. All week I'll have dessert for breakfast. Like I'll eat pumpkin pie and coffee for breakfast the rest of the week, and it's just, why not? Apple crisp. I mean, you name it. And the leftovers that's when I like turkey, when I can do like a turkey sandwich or, something like that. But man, the day
How
after is so good.
how long in the week can you go with leftovers,
Well,
Thanksgiving leftovers?
Thursday's Thanksgiving, right?
Or
So
how long after Thursday?
I mean, Sunday at the most, I'm throwing everything out and starting over because I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Gets to a point where it's like then you're just having like plates of like literally like shit the dog would fucking turn away. You know what I mean? You're just like pulling like scrapple off bones and it's not good. This year is going to be different because literally like I'm going to Philly to do shows, rate going up to upstate New York probably late Wednesday night, spending Wednesday and Thursday there, and then Friday morning heading back. I don't even know if I'll bring home any lefties. I mean, I'm sure my wife will to our house, but by that time, and then I go right to Vegas for the cellar. So like, I don't think I'm going to have much leftover experience this year. So,
Yeah, I can go a day. At this point, I used to could go like however long. I don't know. It was just like whatever. But now
but
it's like a day.
but remember when you were like an adult or you were going back to like your apartment or whatever the hell, and like you'd pack. Your mom would go like, bring over the Tupperware, and then you just load up on like
Yeah.
lefties like that. Then I remember like, and I had friends that I shared apartments with that didn't have a family to go back to, and they didn't feel right coming to my house. So I was like, if you don't mind chilling, I'll bring you literally 3 days worth of dinner
Oh, there you go. Well,
and
that's
just
nice. Yeah.
bring them a whole bunch of stuff, But
There was always the nice game you would play of guess what's l- in this Tupperware. Not even Tupperware. Guess what's in this I can't believe it's not butter
oh my
container.
God, dude, I'm so happy you said that because I was going to ask you. Yeah, it's like, oh, what's in the Cool Whip? Oh,
Cool
corn.
Whip.
It's not Cool Whip. It's corn. Like, oh, what's in this? I can't believe it's not butter.
Not butter.
Not butter. You're like, no shit, you can't believe it's not butter because it's cranberry sauce. Yes, that's true. And we had like, dude, if you looked at our Tupperware, you would think that we were like crazy people. Literally, like anything that was cylindrical with a lid,
Yeah, yeah.
Chinese food soup things.
Oh yeah.
Forever. We had those I still keep those because of my mom. Like literally, like if we went to anything that we brought home that was like a cylinder with a lid, we kept it.
Yeah, I always say these Gen Zs and Alphas don't talk to me about recycling. All right, we recycle our asses off.
Oh my
There's
God, yeah.
somewhere there's a blue tin can that hasn't seen a cookie since 1983. Okay,
Those Danish butter cookies that look like pretzels and the sugar was salt.
that's right. That's
Love
right.
those.
That's
Love
right.
those.
So don't tell me.
Charles, to wrap up this amazing Thanksgiving episode that we just did, why don't we do the top things that we're thankful for here in
Oh my
at
goodness.
this point in our life?
All right. Well, let's see here. Top three things that we're thankful for
On this Thanksgiving in 2024.
Thanksgiving in 2024. I am thankful that my immediate family is, by all intents and purposes, healthy. My parents still have my parents. Um, my sister, and let's see, that's one. I'll do that. Family. My health, as far as I know, is good to go. We're good, and just being healthy. And last but not least, I'm thankful that I get to do what I love, for a living and as a life journey, regardless of how many times I complain to you about it off camera. As I am grateful for the career and that I get to wake up and pretty much just do what I love to do.
Beautiful. That's
What are
great.
you? What are your top three things that you're grateful
Oh,
for?
I am grateful for my amazing wife. She's incredible, and I'm grateful that she's healthy and
Yeah.
that we're good, and that it seems like we're just beginning. We're happy and we're loving life, and I'm thankful for this year. 2024 was a pretty damn good year. and I have to like stop and sort of every now and then, like you said, as much as I tell you off camera how shitty everything is, it's been, compared to some other years, it's been pretty damn good. Got to go to Europe with her, and work is great. I'm very busy with stand up and um, the podcast. I'm thrilled that we were able to start this. You know, we kind of thought about this and took our time, and here we are doing it. And I'm thrilled to be doing it with you. And I think I'm very grateful, obviously, my family, but I'm going to say, like, you know, my friends. I'm really, really, really grateful for my friends. And that is an ever growing and shrinking and changing group of people. And we all kind of find each other and we take care of each other. And I think that's the family that we choose. So I love them all, and I'm thrilled my family's doing well too. But I only had 3, so I'm going to go with those.
Boom. There you
And
go.
you know who Charles and I are incredibly thankful to? You listeners.
That's right. You
We
old
love
heads.
you guys. You old-headed motherfuckers. We love you, and we hope you love us. We want to hear about your Thanksgiving, and we want to hear about your holiday traditions, and we want to hear what you're grateful for. areweoldpodcast@gmail.com. Guys, buckle up, because this is just the beginning. We've got a lot of great plans for you, and 2025 is going to be an exciting year for the Are We Old Heads. So stay tuned and stretch.
Stay young, my friends.